Okay, guys, welcome to second day of a little Christmas reading plan. Maybe you're doing these one a day, maybe you're doing them all. You just want to jump into some Christmassy scripture. But we're going to look today at Luke 1, and we're just going to look at a short passage taking us Luke 1, verse 26, and we'll go probably just through to 56. So just these bits centering around Christ. We also know that in Luke 1, there's the whole story of how John the Baptist's birth was prophesied and explained to his parents, and then he goes on to be born at the end of Luke 1, but we're not going to look at that. Let's just focus on the incredible story of Jesus. We know that John came to prepare the way for Christ and to be one who would spread the good news of Christ. But let's just take a look at some of these really familiar verses from Luke 1 about how the angel Gabriel comes to a virgin called Mary and begins to explain to her that her destiny is quite significantly different from what she thought it was. So in verse 28, it says, he came to her and said, "Greetings, O favored one, the Lord is with you." How amazing that a circumstance that probably does not really feel like a lot of favor is presented as an incredible opportunity, an incredible reminder and confirmation of the love of God in her life. She's been selected for something quite incredible, unlike anything else in the history of the world. And that's sometimes the work of God, the task that he's given us to do. It can come with a bit of fear and trepidation from us, but just be reminded that it also comes with incredible favor, that often God causes us or calls us to carry burdensome things because he knows that he can trust us and there's favor within that. She's not immediately sure about the whole situation. It says she was greatly troubled and tried to discern what sort of greeting this will be. And the angel said to her, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God." The whole birth of Christ was unconventional. It was unexpected, but that does not mean that it has to come with fear. And I think, again, so often of the things that God has asked me to do, maybe the things that God is asking you to do, they can be uncomfortable, they can be unpredictable, but that doesn't mean that they have to induce fear within us. Do not be afraid when God asks something of you. He goes on to explain the incredible journey that Mary is about to go on about conceiving a son and how it's all going to come about. He starts to talk about exactly how this is going to work, and Mary is able to take her questions to this angel. I think sometimes we fear questioning what it is that God is going to do in us, but the angel is not fazed by her questions. In fact, he embraces them and answers each one of them. I think it's always about us being encouraged to enter into a dialogue with God rather than try and fill in all the gaps ourselves. But I love this bit in verse 36. It says, "Behold, your relative Elizabeth has also conceived a son." And I just love that God always provides for us some measure of encouragement in our strange situations. There are other people going through strange situations too, and he doesn't just provide proof for Mary that she's not going mad, that she's not imagining this. He also provides companionship for her, somebody who is also experiencing an incredible touch of God in this season. And so often companionship is provided for us by God as well. We find that in talking to people and sharing our stories, there are actually others who can understand and who can even empathize a little bit with our journey of following Christ or our challenges maybe of faith. He always places us around other people who will be able to support us in some way, even if that's at a distance. And Mary's ultimate answer is found in verse 38. It says, "Behold, I am the servant of the Lord. Let it be to me according to your word." That obedience is why God chose her and what marks her out, a bold and confident obedience. And then I just love the next bit. In verse 41, it said, "When Elizabeth heard that the greeting of Mary," she goes to visit her cousin, "and when Elizabeth heard the greeting of Mary, the baby leapt in her womb." John the Baptist, as a baby in a womb, leaps in the presence of Jesus. The presence of Jesus before he's even born is so profound that it causes a response, it causes a reaction. Imagine what heaven's going to be like. Imagine what it's going to be like when we actually are in the presence of Jesus. But even now here on earth, we can respond to his presence, his goodness, with joy, with leaping, with like physically, emotionally, we can respond to it. And then we get this beautiful song of praise. Mary's response in all of these things is praise. Whenever we are fearful, doubting, unsure, uneasy about the future, we don't need to look at what we can do or what we have in our hands, but we look at who God is and what he can do. And I just love that that's Mary's response to this incredible news. So enjoy reading Luke 1. Let me know if anything stood out for you, and we'll do Luke 2 next.